I'm Becky Campbell from Sew Forever Quilting, and this is a tour of my sewing studio. So this is my backdrop for when I'm in meetings. This is a quilt that I made for the first book I published with American Quilter Society. Here's my printer and organization, and storage is underneath. Back up so that you can see what it looks like from a little further away. And then the thing up against the window is for taking photos of projects and products, so I get good light and diffused light. This is a better view of the light box that I use to take photography. I try and keep things organized and neat, but I do have stacks of things that just stay there until I have to sort through and look for it. This is one of my design walls, and I got this at Joann's a long time ago, and it just hangs across the top there, and I have 2 layers, and I don't have to pin anything to this. All these things just stick. Sometimes when you go by with the sweeper, they do come off, but it's nice not to have to pin anything to that. This area is for relaxation, and if you can tell on the back wall, there is another design wall, and that is the Felt-Right squares that stick to the wall. When you put something up there, you do need to pin it because otherwise it'll fall down. You're going to notice a theme as we go through this studio, and I like to have things with skirts on them so it covers up whatever is underneath and you don't see the cords or whatever I'm storing underneath there. So you're going to see that repeated throughout the studio. This is my cutting table, and I saw something on, I think, Instagram, maybe YouTube, and so underneath my mat I put a piece of galvanized steel that I got from the Home Depot. And so what it does is it makes it magnetic. So if I want to lay something out and have it hold, I can do that. And it was like $15. So it was a nice addition to that. And I have a light box here that I like to use to find repeats. And then I have this overhead light, so when I'm filming, these come on too, and you can see what I'm trying to show you. This area is obviously for the long-arm quilting machine, and you can see the skirt theme, but it serves a really good purpose because I have these here, and then when I lift that up, I can store all my quilts that I'm not using. I roll them up and put them in quilt storage bags that I made out of Tyvek, and I sold those for 15 years so that they don't get creases in them. Behind the long arm quilting machine, I have boards that came from IKEA, and so I can keep all my rollers hung and organized so that I just have to turn around and figure out which one I want to use. So that's really a convenient way to be able to find what I need. This area is my sewing station, and I really enjoy using the big wool mat across the entire surface. And you'll notice underneath is storage so that things that I need to access for ironing are easily reachable. Here's another view. I love to hang my tools so that I can easily reach them whenever I need to use them, and I don't have to search for them in a drawer. I'm hanging my rotary cutters so that I can just turn around and reach for them. And then another thing that I really think is good for safety is that I plug my iron into outlet thing, but it has a red light and a green light. You can't really see that very well, but I know from across the room if my iron is on. So I think that's a good safety feature. This is my sewing station, and it raises up and down. And then I have lights attached so that I can see what I need to see in good light. And then my tools are in a little cup, and there's a little magnetic holder, so this just sticks right there. And this is just a little container that stays there so that I can just swish thread into it, and then it stays nice and neat. I like to have the Orifil thread colors, and they're put on magnets so I can just pick them up and take them to fabric to compare what I need. And then all my sewing machine feet are here, and additional scissors and things like that. This is the Quilt Go that you can open up, and then again another skirt, but it covers up a lot of stuff, and all the plates and covers are easily accessible. And then this is a drawer of scraps that I use when I make free samples that I put in every order. So these are what I cut up from scraps, and then I make a little grandmother flower garden free kit so that you can try the self-stick templates that I designed to make English paper piecing really easy. This table here is really nice to have because I can pull it out and both the leaves will lift up, and I can put it in the middle of the room when I'm working on a large project. This is, nothing's too large for a skirt, so this covers up all my threads, and I have them in drawers alphabetically so that I don't have to look for whatever color I'm trying to find, and that way they don't get faded or light doesn't get to them. This closet I did a lot of planning for when we moved here, and I got every inch of space used as efficiently as possible, and all my fabric is folded the same way so I can just open it up and see what's here without having to sort through a stack. All the batting is stored up there and pillow forms, and then additional sewing supplies are over here. So I am extremely happy with how all of this turned out to make things easy to find. I'm a fan of tools, so I have quite a few, and I use the inside of the doors to hang an IKEA board, and then I can organize that. What you're looking at here are all the products that I sell on my website, the English Paper Piecing Made Easy templates, and the patterns that I sell, hard copy, and then also there are PDFs. And this is my sewing companion. So I hope you've enjoyed the tour, and thank you so much.
So here we are with Becky herself. Becky, thank you so much for joining us. And you've got that beautiful applique quilt behind you. Remind us, was this one of your own patterns, or was this something else?
This is my own pattern. This was the first book I wrote for American Quilter Society. So it was based on this quilt.
Oh, beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. And
Thank
how many books have you written now?
2.
Oh, wonderful. Okay. We will be linking to those in the notes underneath.
Okay, just as a note, sorry, this one is out of print, and so it's not available, and I'm working on a PDF to make it available.
Okay, excellent. Well, we'll have the link to your website and your newsletter, of course, as well.
Okay.
So people can catch that when it comes out.
Okay.
One of the things I couldn't help noticing is how amazingly tidy your studio is, like spotless. And you can see behind me that mine is not. Is it always like that?
Pretty much. I mean, like if I'm working on a large project, it'll get a little bit messier, but I do try and clean up a lot, and that's why I have so many organizational tools to help with that, so that it just makes it easy to put things away and to find them.
I know your closet was just, amazing. And then there's so many elements to this. So let's talk about the pegboards that you've got up on the wall, which I know you mentioned you got from IKEA, and I'll put a link in the notes to those.
Okay.
But how did you design the layout of them? Like, because they're big, was it kind of overwhelming, or where did you start?
I think there are about there are like 6 or 8 because they come in a certain size.
Mm.
And so I just covered the entire back wall of the behind the quilting machine, and then bought a lot of their like organizational like hooks and baskets to keep things in. And I just put things up and rearranged them till I could fit as much stuff on there as I could. And I tried to put the stuff where I was going to use it, like stuff like instructions books and stuff like that that I'm not looking at all the time, go to the end, and the rulers are behind me so that I can pull them out and try out them without having to look for things.
I suppose that's the great thing about the pegboard system is that you can be continuously moving the things around until they are exactly where you want them. You don't have to commit in advance.
Right.
Yeah,
And
that's just wonderful.
and it's very few holes in the wall, and they're not hard to install at all. Um, like you'll see in the video, I've put them on the back of doors just to help with products that I don't use every day.
Yeah, no, I just think it's wonderful. And then, of course, we can't talk about the layout of your studio without talking about the skirts around things. Tell
Okay.
us about those. Is that like your own thing that you've made yourself?
Yes, a lot of them, the ones in front of the on the quilting machine were made from extra large twin sheets from Target, so they're like a bit heavier. And I did them quite a few years ago, but I did that, and then I'll show you. So a lot of the other ones are just shears, and I double them, and then I just put them on suspension rods, like underneath the quilting machine. There are bars that I can suspend the skirts on, and like around my computer desk where I have like all kinds of wires and everything, I just put the 3M hooks that have a little clip up on them, and then just hang the shears from that. So they're either suspended because the table or whatever, I had a place to put them in there, or I hang them on the 3M hooks, and that works pretty well.
I remember reading, and I don't know if this is completely true, so maybe I shouldn't repeat it, but I remember reading that during the Victorian times, ladies would put the similar kind of thing around tables in case gentlemen were in some way turned on by the legs of the tables, by the legs being exposed. This is the
Yeah,
time where you didn't show your ankles or anything.
right,
So you've got the more modern version of that where it's to hide the cables and things. So
right.
it just looks lovely and adds to the neatness of the overall office. And then, of course, you've made amazing use of magnets all over the place. And
Yeah.
like you mentioned this big piece of steel that you got from a Home Depot or somewhere like that.
Mhm.
How does one go about buying a big piece of steel? Is it just come in the right size or what?
Yes. Let's see. I ordered it from Home Depot, and I saw this on Instagram, and I wish I would have like got her name, but I was like, oh my God, I love that idea. And I just went on, and I have a cutting mat that's like, I think it's 24 by 36. And conveniently I could order something that was very close to that. And I ordered it, and it came that day or the next day. They delivered it. And when you get it out of the box, you have to be careful because the edges are sharp. And so on the Instagram video, or maybe it was a YouTube video, one of them, she said, tape the edges so that you don't cut yourself. And so I just used duct tape, put it around the edges, and slid it underneath my mat, and it works really well.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's absolutely amazing.
And I
Yeah.
had some of I don't know if they're so tight or if they came with the Caterpillar cutting mat thing. And then I also had a magnetic cutting mat previously that was very expensive. And it just got worn, so I wanted a nice white one. And I sacrificed the magnetic of it until I found the sheet up. And the sheet was like, it was like $15 delivered. So
That's amazing.
it was an easy fix.
Yeah, I'm just thinking there's a Home Depot not far from here. And then you've also, of course, got your Aurifil cards on the wall,
Hmm.
magnets as well. Did you, were those like self-stick or something, or how does that work?
Well, you get them in that card. They're all
Mm.
together. And
Yeah, it kind
so,
of folds out, right?
exactly. And I saw somebody who had cut them apart, which is kind of scary because there's not much space in between to cut them apart. And
Mm.
then I bought the magnetic like thing behind it at IKEA because they have them there. And then you just buy like I think you can buy magnets on a roll and then just cut them the size that you need them, and then one side sticks to the back of them. And
It's just so clever. I love it because years ago I cut up my Kona color card, my swatch,
mhm,
and put Velcro on the back and created a whole thing. And that was it was part of a color applying course. But I kind of maybe thinking now maybe I should replace them with magnets because that would be a whole nother way of doing it. And to have them up on the wall is so pretty as well. So I
right.
well, I just love everything that you've done. I'm just checking through my notes to make sure we don't miss anything. Oh, English paper piecing. You've got these wonderful machines. Like you're doing your English paper piecing, which I always do by hand, so a lot of handwork. And I'm guessing that's kind of in your relaxation area. You might do that, or do you do your English paper piecing on machine?
Both, because
Mm.
I created English paper piecing self-stick templates.
Mhm.
So they come on a sheet that, and they're reusable until they no longer stick. So they eliminate basting, whip stitching, and pulling the papers out later because you just move the sticker from shape to shape. So you use them to cut the fabric, and then I can grab one if you want.
It's okay. I'm going to link to them below.
Okay.
Um,
And so you just stick it on your fabric. You can cut multiple layers at once with an add a quarter ruler, and then you put it on the centered on the back wrong side of your fabric, and then you can just simply straight stitch by hand or by machine from corner to corner and tack at the beginning and at the end. And then when you've surrounded, you've got all shapes on all sizes, you just pull the sticker off and move it to an outer shape and continue to add to that. So no basting, gluing, or whip stitching.
well, as a dedicated ink paper piecer, and I've got a little
I know you
here.
do.
I am blown away by this, so I need to look at this and find out all about it. So I will be linking to all of this in the notes underneath the video. So thank you.
Okay.
That's wonderful.
And I have YouTube videos on how to use them, and also a class on CNT Creative Spark that shows how the most fun, as you know, for English paper piecing, I think, is to be able to focus cut things and place them where you want them.
Mm.
I have a blank sheet package, and when the Queen of Diamonds, Tulip Pinks quilt came out, I wanted to see if I could use those. So I
Mm.
ordered the paper from Paper Pieces, and then I traced all of the shapes and labeled them, and I sewed the entire Queen of Diamonds by Tulip Pink by machine.
Wow. It must be so much quicker. I'm just thinking
Uh,
a lot of Y seams, though. A lot of Y seams.
no, no,
No?
no Y seams, no Y seams. You're just sewing from corner to corner, and so you don't sew into the seam allowance, and so you're able to just flip it up and continue to stitch anything in it. There are no Y seams.
Oh my goodness. Blowing my mind here. Okay, well, we all need to click on the links underneath this video
Yes.
and find out about this. This is amazing. Well,
Okay.
thank you so much for sharing your studio with us, and just remind people where they can find you.
They can find me at sewforever.com. It's just SEWFOREVER. And I really appreciate everything you do with the Global Quilt Connection and I'm so glad this has made such a difference in my business with the help of you and Lyric and all the people that have come together and given us a place to share our art and craft.
Oh, thank you so much. That's so kind of you.
Well,
Well, I don't know what to say except thank you. And Susan and Lyric and I are so happy to provide this service for people like yourself who are teaching and lecturing and making online. Becky, thank you again, and have a wonderful rest of your day.
well, thank you so much.